It started on a regular Friday. Martin came home from work. He couldn't wait to see his girlfriend, Barbara. They'd been together for a while, and Martin had an exorbitant diamond ring in his pocket. He was going to propose. But when he entered the apartment, he saw their living room was a mess, and Barbara, who was supposed to be waiting for Martin, was missing. The guy tried to spot any clues he could use to find his girlfriend. But the only thing he noticed was an encoded message on the mirror. It was written with lipstick. It said cherry plus 185. What could it even mean? Do you have any guesses? Martin was a very smart guy, and soon he figured out that the numbers corresponded to the names of the months: January, August, and May. The first letters of these months made the word jam. So Martin had to look for cherry jam. He darted to the fridge. Inside a cherry jam jar, there was the next clue. It was an image of 10 bugs. Each of them had a different number of legs. Now, the guy had to crack the code. Can you help him do it? As we can see, each bug has a unique number of legs. What if together they make a phone number? Martin decided to check this theory and dialed the number. Someone answered the call, but then the other person hung up. In a minute, Martin got a message sent from the same phone number. In this message, there was a set of emojis. Look at them attentively and help the guy figure out what information is encrypted here. All you need to do is say the words out loud. 1, okay, lock, T, rain. It's a 1 o'clock train. Martin rushed away to the railway station. Luckily, at 1 o'clock there was only one train. It was leaving for Paris, and there were only 2 tickets left. Both had great discounts. Martin could choose between a $300 first-class ticket with a 20% discount and a $600 ticket to a super luxury car with a private bathroom that had a 60% discount. Can you help Martin figure out which option is better? Discounted, the tickets had the same price of $240. So why not choose the super luxury car with a private bathroom? Martin arrived in Paris and was at a loss. Where should he start? Suddenly, his phone pinged. It was an ad giving the address of the best private detective in the city. As Martin was desperate for help, he headed to the detective's office. The detective agreed to help, but first, he needed to finish a few of his own cases. Laura, a music teacher, came to give a lesson to her private student. Surprisingly, the door was unlocked and her student was lying on the sofa, running a terrible fever. Laura got worried and called an ambulance. The problem was that her student was a very rich and respected person in the city, and there were people who wanted to get rid of him. That's why Laura also called her friend, the detective, to help her make sure no doctor was a threat. 3 doctors arrived. Martin, who was accompanying the detective, immediately understood that one of them was a criminal. Look at the doctor's medical bags and try to figure out which doctor it is. It's the guy on the left. Have you spotted an axe in his medical bag? The next case the detective had to solve involved a bank robbery that had occurred at midnight. The manager of the bank didn't want the clients to know about this accident, so he involved no press. After investigating the case, the detective had 3 suspects. All of them had been previously accused of the same crime, but all of the suspects claimed they had alibis. Stacy went to bed at 11 p.m. Lucas said that he'd been bowling with his friend from midnight to 2 a.m. and Ryan supposedly spent all night in a hospital with his granny. Have you figured out who the bank robber is? It's Lucas. The detective didn't mention the exact time when the robbery had happened. Then how did he know it? To solve the next case, Martin and the detective needed to help a man who lost his memory in an accident. They had to figure out which of these 3 women was his real wife. Have you guessed? It must be the girl on the left. Unlike the other 2 girls, she is wearing a wedding ring. After cracking these cases, Martin and the detective were starving, so they went to a restaurant to have lunch. There, they witnessed a waiter and a client arguing. The waiter claimed that the woman had ordered a special breakfast set and was now refusing to pay. And the customer objected that she had only ordered a coffee. So, who is lying? Martin and the detective came to have lunch, so it's afternoon. No breakfast specials are served at this time. The waiter is lying. The last case the detective had to crack before starting to look for Martin's girlfriend had taken place in the detective's hometown. It was a small town with a quiet and peaceful atmosphere, but a series of strange incidents began to occur there. People reported that someone was spreading rumors and causing panic among the residents. Items started disappearing from the local museum, and important documents went missing from the town archive. The townspeople couldn't figure out who or what was behind it all. Concerned about the town's reputation, the mayor invited the detective, who he knew personally, to crack this mysterious case. Martin, who had nothing to do at the moment, tagged along. The police already had 3 suspects. The first one was a young, ambitious guy who had recently graduated with a degree in business management. He was full of ideas on how to change the town for the better, but his aggressive methods of imposing order left people with mixed feelings. Then there was a nurse famous for her compassion and care for patients at the local hospital. However, she has a secret hobby: experimenting with new medications in search of the perfect cure, which could have unexpected consequences. And finally, a butcher. His jokes and cheerful attitude made people love him dearly. But some suspected his business wasn't as transparent as he wanted people to believe. Martin was sitting in an investigation room, looking at the detective, questioning the suspects. Suddenly, he realized who the real criminal was, and this realization made his hair stand on end. Have you also guessed who the person keeping the town in fear is? Even though there is something fishy about all 3 suspects, the real danger is the detective. Look attentively at his unusually sharp tie clip. It's actually a concealed knife. After escaping from the weird town with its weird inhabitants, Martin returned to Paris. In the hotel room he had rented, he found a message. It contained several numbers. Nearby, there was a weekly planner. Martin thought for a while, looked around, and realized what the message meant. Can you do the same? The numbers stand for the days of the week: Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. If we take the first letters of these words, we'll get MWS. Now, do you see that hotel visible through Martin's room window? Its name is MWS Hotel. That's where Martin should look for the answers. Martin rushed to the hotel, and in the lobby, he saw Barbara. The man was shocked. The girl told him that it was all a test. She wanted to see how much Martin loved her and to what length he would go to find her. Martin felt conflicted. On the one hand, he was happy that Barbara was okay. On the other hand, He'd been so worried. Wasn't it a too barbaric way to check his loyalty? Write down in the comments what you think about this situation. Should Martin leave, or should he forgive his girlfriend?
That's it for today. So hey, if you pacified your curiosity, then give the video a like and share it with your friends. Or if you want more, just click on these videos and stay on the bright side.